Russell of Hotels, getting his walk on today, getting my 10,000 steps in. Did you know 10,000 steps is almost 5 miles? Well, it takes me a little while to get it done, and you know, and the course is not necessarily flat, so I get a little winded every now and then. Not a loss of breath, but winded, like as in tired. But anyway, I'm like I always am. Right here north of LAX, the runway. Watch the planes come and go as that's where I get my little walk and talk in with Russell of Hotel. Talk about anything, everything. And it's all based on hospitality because that's the industry that I've been in for years and years. But it doesn't just stop with that. I was having a conversation with somebody today, just giving some advice on this person is in logistics, right? And I was giving some advice on, some social media game. As far as to be consistent, you got to post. He needs to post more, right? You just can't do things one time, two times, and things are gonna stick. People are gonna see you. So this is my thing. The reason why I post multiple times a day is because everybody's not seeing what I'm posting. They didn't see what I posted the first or second time, so maybe I got to do it 3 times. You know what I mean? So I had to build myself up to that. It wasn't just like I just started one day. I woke up and I started posting several times a day. You have to build up to that. So it took me a while to get to that point, but that's where I am now. So content is not a problem for me. He's having some issues with what content do I put. Like I said, he's in logistics, and I said, well, whose audience you trying to reach? He has a truck, meaning a 18-wheeler that they deliver certain things to transport things from point A to point B. I said, okay, but he's trying to transition from driving the truck, which he owns, to being more of a broker. So brokering loads and things like that. And I said, okay, that sounds like a natural progression. But you got to find out, who are the people on the other end? Who are those end users? So I said, well, let's just do a little research and find out who those end users are. Then that way you can, basically do videos, do lives, whatever. But you need to make sure your hashtags are where people start to notice. The people that follow you or the people that you want to follow you, they'll follow you because of the hashtags that you put on. So I gave him a couple exercises to do. I said, we can reconvene later, but you still at the end of the day, you need to start posting consistently. So you need to post consistently. That's one thing. Two, you need to make sure you're adding value to your audience, your community, the people you're trying to get in your community, or the audience you're trying to grow, or that end user, right? Whoever you want to use those logistics services. And then the third one is always be you. You know what I mean? Don't try to force things because people, and I always say this, I say it all the time, probably every week. People have to be comfortable with you. People have to like you before they buy your service or your product, right? So they have to be comfortable with you before anything else. So make sure you do things that people relate to. And I said, being a business owner, an entrepreneur, as he is and as he's been for a long time, as long as I've known him. I mean, we went to school together, but after school, he was always in that mindset, right? So people understand that. People understand ups and downs, highs and lows, or people want to transition from one thing to the next. I said, but you got to tell that story. That's the story that people want to hear, right? Because everything's not easy. The transition for me was not easy from working in hotels, 14 hotels, by the way, and within 25 to 30 years. Um, and to do your own thing, to be an entrepreneur, to be hotel site selection or content creating, not just for myself, but for other hospitality entities, hotels or tourism boards or whatever, restaurants or whatever. So I mean, that's it's not an easy transition by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to start, right? You have to start somewhere. And like I said, I started. when I started doing social media stuff, I mean, I was kicking and screaming because one, I didn't understand it, and two, I thought it was a waste of time. So, but that was years ago, and now, of course, I've transitioned over to the dark side. No, just joking. But I transitioned to understanding it more, educating myself, and surrounding myself with people that it worked for. What I mean? It's one thing to see people post things like, "Oh, I want to do that," but it's another thing to have conversations with people, and people take the time to explain, why we do this. Why do you post several times a day, or what type of content should you be posting several times a day? Because this is your marketing, right? This is your marketing. This is not the old marketing. We got to get out of that mindset. The old way of getting things across. You know, because people are transitioning out of newspapers, out of magazines, from billboards. You know what I mean? Unless they're electronic billboards, right, where they posting up things automatically, you know, through a program. Like I was at, this is funny. I was at the football game last week. I was at the Rams and the Texans preseason game at SoFi Stadium, which is here in the LA area, or actually in Inglewood. And on that big jumbotron they have, I mean, it's a huge screen. If you haven't seen it, you need to just Google the screen at SoFi Stadium. I mean, they must have spent, I don't know, I don't know. I can't even imagine. It's in the millions of dollars, right? If not, maybe $1 billion for this screen, right? Because it's like two sides, like a ribbon, like say a ribbon, put a ribbon in a circle, but you have like two or three sides to it, right? You have the side up, the side and back. So no matter where you're sitting in the stadium, you see that screen. Well, the guy I went, my neighbor and friend Phil, he says, "Hey, I don't see any advertisements anywhere in the stadium." I'm like, and I just looked around like, "You're right," but then they came on the screen, so they're changing automatically on the screen. So it's more of a digital thing. It's not a stationary thing. It's moving, and that meaning that gets people's attention. Because if it's just stationary, if there's a logo, someone's logo, or a product or service, a company name or whatever, the eye is trained, not to stare at things because things are rapidly moving and changing, and that's how the mind is thinking now. It's the same thing with you're looking at things online. You may stop and look at one thing, but things are scrolling all the time on social media. If you're looking at say Instagram, Twitter, whatever, you're looking at different feeds, right? You're not just stationary. Things are not stationary. Things are moving. Pictures are moving. Videos are moving. So that's what they're doing to advertise on this screen. It's basically the same thing you will be looking at online, but it's on a screen at a stadium with like, I think the capacity of the place like 80,000. I think maybe the game that I was at, it maybe was 40,000 people. But it's like constantly moving and constantly going. So that's how things are moving, right? Advertising is different. So if you see like on billboards now, the new billboards are digital billboards. They're not stationary billboards because people, they don't process like that, especially the younger generation. They don't process like the older generation does. Okay, I'll just say that. So you have to be constantly changing with the times. If you don't change with the times, you're gonna be left behind. So, but anyway, I said all that to say we all have to. I'm not saying you got to adopt everything 100%. I mean, I have because in order for me to move forward with my business, I have to because the people that I'm trying to get, the clients I'm trying to get, the new clients I'm trying to get, the clients I'm trying to keep, they're looking for you to evolve with technology. You can't stay stagnant. Okay, you have to continue to evolve, and that's one thing the hotel industry, and I always bring it back to the hotel industry, right? We evolve slowly. We don't evolve as quickly as other industries do. And that's just because we got people on top that are still thinking that old way. They still have that old mindset. For whatever reason, it is what it is. Um, and yeah, I said it. So I'm saying it in a joking way, but it is serious. But um, but yeah, so just continue to do what you do, but look at the social media aspect of it. And I give them again. I gave them a little earlier. One, be consistent with your social media postings. If that's reels, if that's just posting, if that's stories, stories are big because people don't have a lot of time. So if you put things on stories, it's just basically a blurb, 5, 10 seconds, boom, because you got to get people's attention in like 3 seconds, right? That's the optimal time, right? If you don't get people's attention in 3 seconds, you're gonna lose them, right? They're not gonna listen. They're gonna go on to something else that's gonna get their attention. So if you need to have something explode in the first 3 seconds, then that's what you do because now they're more likely to look at it. Because if you look at videos of violence and all that stuff, if people are getting shot and killed the first 3 seconds, oh, you're gonna look at some more. Oh, let me see who else is getting killed. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate that that's what it's come to, but that's what it's come to. I'm right in front of the airport, LAX, and I'm looking at these airlines come in. I think it's just the coolest thing to watch planes come in and go. But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off of what I was saying. But yeah, so things change. I'm not sure where I was, but bottom line, you need to change the times. One, be consistent. Two, add value to the people that you're trying to attract. The clients that you're trying to attract or the customers or whatever. Add value to them, right? Make sure it's something, what you're posting is something that people want to see or hear or read or whatever, okay? And then three, always be yourself. Like I said, if you're normally a jokester or laugh a lot, well, then continue that because people will want to look at your personality and see who you are. People will buy you before they buy your product or service. That's it, right? Because they want to be able to resonate with you. Oh, Russell, he's a funny guy. Okay. They watch because I'm funny. Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. Whatever the reason is, listen to me, learn from me, and if you need some help, you can call me, right? Because he's a funny guy, or he's a personable guy, or he's experienced the same things I've experienced, or he's an entrepreneur, and things aren't always easy. You know what I mean? You have to let people know that. People don't know what they don't know. They see you and they may see, yeah, I'm in these certain places, I'm staying in these hotels, but you know it wasn't always like that. You know what I mean? It's always it's been a struggle. You know what I mean? So entrepreneurism, if somebody tells you that, oh yeah, from day one as an entrepreneur, I was making it, I was doing big things, they're full of crap. Okay, no, 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 no. I'm gonna keep it 100, like they say. I'm gonna keep it 100. Okay, people may have had it easier, but believe me, there's some times when you like question, like, what the heck am I doing? You know what I mean? But anyway, hey, it is what it is. You keep it moving. You keep the grind because the grind is for real. Okay. If you hear that the grind, if there's no grind, they're peeing on your head and saying it's raining. Okay. So, but anyway, I just want to come live for a couple of minutes and just mention that social media and content creating, it goes over all industries. You can use it for every industry. I mean, I use it. Excuse me. I use it for social. I mean, for hospitality because that's the industry that I'm in. But I consult or help people in any industry out there because you can. It doesn't matter what the industry is. You're still trying to reach people. You still need to be consistent. You still, need to add value. You still need to be yourself. So it doesn't matter what the industry is. All you gotta do is email me, reach out, and we can have a conversation about it. Just like I said, the gentleman, my friend, called me this morning, and we soon got on. He was returning my phone call, right? Because his birthday was last week, so I just reached out to wish him a happy birthday. And he didn't call me back for like a week, right? And then we get through the pleasantries, and then he's like, "Hey man, I got a question for you." And I'm like, "What? What's the question?" And he just went in and asked me about this whole social media thing because he sees that what I post, and he's asking me, how do you come up with the content? I'm like, the content is based on my experiences. Just like the content for him would be based on his experiences. How you got started, people want to know that. What are you doing now? What are you trying to do? People want to know that stuff. I I share all that stuff on social media because I think it's important for people to know where you are, where you started from, and where you're going. And along the way, people, they'll help you out or they'll They may be further behind than you are, and they may want to ask you questions. And next, you know, you have a client, right? So there you go. That's what it comes down to. But it starts off with your experiences. Everyone has different life experiences, right? So I always say, you know, people coming in the hospitality industry or the hospitality space, they came through different doors. Not everybody came in the same door. Some came from in the front, some came in the back, some came in the side door. Okay. So it doesn't matter. They got there, right? And they use their experiences to move further up or whatever. So it's the same with any industry. So don't be afraid to show yourself. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. You think I care that I'm getting my exercise on? You think I care that I have this old hat and I'm wearing this hat? No, because I'm comfortable with who I am, right? So people can say whatever they want to say. You know, it is what it is, right? But you have to put yourself out there. Social media, you have to put yourself out there. So there you go. Did I say enough? Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you. It's Friday, right? So have a good weekend. Not just a day. Have a good weekend. I'm live from the north side of LAX. That's the runway right there, right? No planes are coming in yet. Oh, here comes a plane right now. Speak of the devil, you see it right there. So I come out here. I walk this path, right? It's like a if I keep walking west, I walk right into the beach or the ocean. Okay, so the like I said, the LAX is I'm on the north side of LAX. There's two runways on this side. So there's a runway where they land, and there's a runway where they take off. And there goes a plane right there taking off right now. A United Airline. So yeah, so someone says, hey, Craig, what's going on, Craig? Thanks for looking at this live on YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do more YouTube lives. I do my show on air with Russell of Hotels, which is a live hospitality talk show. I talk about everything hospitality. It's not just for hotel people; it's for people that stay in hotels, right? People that are looking for a hotel to stay in. People don't maybe not understand the process of how hotels work, or maybe they're looking to do a group in a hotel. I mean, I do all these different things, everything hotel, everything hospitality. So I do that show every Tuesday live on YouTube at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time because I'm in Los Angeles, right? So I need to do more of these lives on YouTube, and maybe I'll get a little bit more traction. Okay, so but yeah, so check them out. In fact, yesterday, speaking of hotels, yesterday I talked to this young lady that I had referred a hotel to in New York. It was the Freehand Hotel in New York, right? She said she at first she wasn't really sure if that's if that's going to work for her. I'm not sure, whatever. But it was low. It was located in a place that was next to, the subway, so she can get to where she needed to be. So it actually worked out real well. She said the only thing she didn't like is that it's for younger people, because it's a hip. Um, Boutique-ish kind of hotel. So yeah, so it's you're gonna draw the boutique hotels are gonna draw a lot younger crowd. But she said she still enjoyed it. She said she loved the decorations, the decor, the whole vibe of the hotel. It's just that there was a party going on, or I guess there's a rooftop. I think maybe she was in a room that was right below where the rooftop was. Okay, so say the hotel was 20 floors. She was on the 20th floor. So anything that was going on above her, she was hearing, right? So yeah, and now you know, right? So my advice to anybody that's going to check out or stay at the Freehand in New York, make sure you don't get a top floor. Make sure you don't get a floor that's right below, the rooftop, okay, or the pool area or whatever. So those are good things to know, right? She had a great time, but the next time she knows not to select that room. So there you go. So yeah, so I give advice on where to stay, and I've never been at the hotel. I know the brand because there was one here in LA. So I know the brand. I know the company that designed the brand or the concept of the brand, um, but I had never stayed there. So, and sometimes, in New York, hotels can be rather pricey, but you're gonna pay something, right? But always book direct. Don't do your third party sites. I mean, I do use the sites for resources. Don't get me wrong. I do use Expedia for resources, but um, I will always compare with the site, the whatever hotel's website. So in this case, the freehand, I will have the Expedia, the freehands rate on Expedia and the freehands rate on their site side by side. And I'm looking like, okay, compare what do you get for this price? And 9 out of 10 times, book direct, you're gonna get a cheaper rate, almost 100% of the time. But I'm just gonna say 9 out of 10 times, okay? But you're always gonna get a better rate, okay? So I just put you on game for two things. I said, always book direct, compare the prices, use Expedia and those third parties. We call them third party sites or OTAs, online travel agents. That's what we call them. So have them side by side. The direct, meaning the hotel's website, their reservation page, and then Expedia side by side, and that way you can compare and see if Russell of Hotels knows what the heck he's talking about. Okay, and see what that rate gives you. So if it's a $300 rate on both sides, what advantage do you have with booking direct with that hotel or booking through Expedia? But just remember, if you have issues with if you book through a third party and you have issues with the hotel, you have to go through Expedia wherever you booked it to resolve any issues you may have. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's it. That's my tips for the day. You guys have a great day and happy Friday and have a good weekend. Peace.